You're okay, ma'am. You're safe now. Can you look at me?
They're still out there.
We'll take care of it. Right now, we just need to get you warm.
Dispatch, victim located. We're heading back to the vehicle.
Easy does it. Lean on me.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Creme de la Cringe.
Hey guys.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks for us, so we're getting back on our feet, getting back into the schedule, back to the groove, and yeah,
It's been a crazy last few weeks.
it has, and so thank you for the new subscribers. We noticed you. Thank you for popping on the show. That's really appreciative, and also our other show. Thank you. I know a lot of you are probably into the Pocatello paranormal research because that's where we hail from. And just a shout out to all of our followers out there. Thank you. We got monetized and we're cranking out work and we're loving it. So thank you very much for all of the support you guys have given us. So, yeah.
Yes. You guys have done a lot of hard work on that show. You really have.
Oh, gosh. Yes, it's finally we got, I feel like I have cat hair like everywhere. My allergies are going nuts. The kittens.
Because you have cats.
Well, yeah, the kittens are just, and everybody's shedding right now.
Are you sure you really want to keep those kittens?
Oh, they're going outside. All of them are going outside here real quick. 70-degree weather, Boo Boo's going to be outside. Because, yeah, my old cat is not happy with kittens, and she's letting her thoughts be known all over the house, and I've had it. So,
I don't own cats.
Everybody. So, yes. Anyway, I love my animals, but yeah, it's been a lot lately. So, anywho, what do we got on store tonight?
All right. So I cannot pronounce the name because, my good old education.
I believe it's Hinterkaifeck.
So the Hinterkaifeck murders, the farm where someone was living with the dead. Like, that's creepy in itself.
Yeah.
So when I was like looking at this and researching it, I was like, that's really weird and disturbing.
It is. It's a lot of people have covered this one.
Really?
Oh yeah, it is a bizarre case. It is a really, really bizarre case. And to this day, right? Unsolved?
Yeah, to this day. But it's crazy. It's like I'm looking up the true crime stuff, like how many are actually unsolved.
Oh, so many.
And it's disturbing.
Well, back in the day, right?
We didn't have like everything like we do now. And that's, I think, the hard part is like
and
the
now,
DNA.
Well, we have genetic genealogy, and that's how they're finding the bad guys now.
Well, yeah, because that's how they caught the Idaho 4.
Did they catch him off genealogy?
Yeah. So they found a print on the knife sheath and they ran it through the database and they found like an uncle or something.
Oh God, I didn't
something
know that.
Down the genetic line that then they were able to like go through and like pick out who was in the area. And that's how they figured that he was in the area, like close enough. And then that's when they went to Pennsylvania and had got garbage out of his parents' garbage can, I think it was. And that's how they were able to tie it to him.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't know how anybody can get away with anything anymore. So don't even attempt anything, guys, because you're not going to get away with it. So, yeah.
Unlike the feds have had my DNA for years, so I'm fine.
I know, right?
I
have FBI files. I have fingerprints out there because of my job. So, yeah, I can get away with anything. So, all right. Let's get it.
All right. So March 31st, 1922, in the rural countryside near Walderhofen, Germany, stood a small isolated farm called the Hinterkaifeck,
I think.
Yeah, it's Hinterkaifeck. It sat alone, surrounded by forest, separated from the nearest village by miles of farmland. So probably really beautiful and, solitude and quiet until it wasn't. But days before their murders, something deeply unsettling had already begun happening on the property. Footprints appeared in the snow. They led from the forest to the house, but there were no footprints leaving. And at night, the farmer began hearing footsteps in the attic. See, and that right there alone, I'm like, no, That's why I hate addicts. No,
Yeah,
you
I'm
always
going to
hear those stories.
share the picture. That's this is there's no copyright on this. This picture is, it's over 100 years old. So when
Yeah.
what year was this?
1922.
Yeah, okay.
So
So
104 years ago. Just actually almost to the day.
that's the farmhouse. No, that's I think this is the
Yeah.
farmhouse and this was the detached barn, and there was another barn here, like a hay barn or something. Yeah.
So quiet and peaceful.
Yeah, exactly. Who'd have thunk?
I'm so ready to run to mountains forever. So it was the Gerber family living at the farm. Were six people. Andreas Gruber, who was 63, the strict patriarch. Sorry, guys, it's been a really long day. And then his wife, Casella Gerber, who was 72. Wow, I didn't realize she was older than him. I just put that together. Then there was Victoria. They pronounce things or spell things so weird over there. Gabriel, their widowed daughter. And then there's Casella Gabriel, Victoria's young daughter. Joseph, Victoria's toddler son, who was 2. And Maria Baumgartner. I don't even know. It's funny. I
Maria.
actually found out through my DNA I'm German, and can't. Yeah. Who was the new maid that had just arrived that very day.
Yeah.
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 So there were 6 people on an isolated farm, and someone may have already been hiding inside. The strange days before the murders and the days leading up to the attack, Andrea told neighbors about bizarre events. First came the footprints in the snow. Then he discovered a newspaper he had never purchased inside the house. Shortly after that, the family's house keys went missing. And at night, Andreas swore he heard someone walking above them in the attic. Their previous maid had actually quit weeks earlier, claiming the house was haunted.
Yep.
Which,
Exactly. So we'll do another case that I have very similar to this. Modern day, but very similar to this.
I
Yes,
am
somebody
realizing it's more and more like it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's creepy, isn't it? I mean, here's this poor woman thinks, "Oh my God, this house is haunted. I'm out of here." Saved her life, thinking the house
Yeah,
saved her
because the
life.
family stayed.
Hmm.
And she was like out of Dodge. I mean, and especially back in that time frame, I love that we are more open about the paranormal and things like that now. But back in that time frame, oh yeah, you didn't talk about it.
Right.
You were probably known as crazy if you did. So the
Well,
night of the
I'm known as
murders,
crazy today, and I talk. So
well,
there's
you might
that.
be a little crazy.
Hello.
We're all a little crazy in our own way. It's totally fine. So on the evening of March 31st, something drew members of the family into the barn one by one. That's like what was even more disturbing is it was like one by one.
Yeah, they go in and don't come out.
Yeah.
So, after like the third person goes in, I ain't going in.
No.
No.
I'm like,
And I don't
why
see
are we
that
still
coming.
going in there?
I'm not going in. Like, what's going on?
Why go in there? Like no one else is coming back out. Investigators believe the killer may have made noise among the animals, called out for help, or lured them in individually. Inside the barn, the attacker used a mattock, a heavy farming tool similar to a pickaxe. It's always the axe. How many
Axe.
stories have we done now
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's always got something to do with the axe? And the killer struck Andreas, Victoria, Casella, and little Casella. Evidence suggests the young girl did not die immediately.
That's terrible.
Oh, that's horrible. Investigators later found clumps of her hair in her hands, indicating she had pulled it out while lying injured in the hay for hours. That is absolutely horrible.
Poor little
Like,
thing. I don't know
she was
why,
young.
but I don't understand why. I mean, you got to wonder, did the kids see this person and that's why because why would you kill a child? So that they could identify him?
Well, I mean, some people are sick enough.
Well, that's true, but why? Oh, why would you?
I don't understand it. Like, I
Yeah.
am a firm believer you don't hurt women and children. Like, you just don't. Um, okay, maybe not some women.
I know,
Most women,
I was just
there is a
thinking, wait a
few.
minute now.
There's a few in there that I'm like, yeah, no, you kind of deserve what you get.
I
But
watched enough cop videos to know that there's a whole lot of women out there that
they're
it's
nuts.
like, what is wrong with
I know. I'm like, they are so crazy. And I'm like, why? It's bizarre to me. So the killer enters the house after killing the four in the barn. The murderer walked back into the farmhouse. Inside, two more victims waited. The maid, Maria, was killed in her bed. Then the killer entered the nursery and murdered the 2-year-old Joseph in his crib. Like, what is the point of that?
just
That
blows my
2-year-old
mind,
is
you know?
never going to be able to describe you. They're two. And
No.
I don't think you should hurt
Well, this
children.
person, let's think about this for a minute. This guy, probably a guy to have the power to do this, right? Especially
Yeah.
a man, because the guy, the Andreas, he was not known to be super nice. He wasn't a real friendly guy. The whole family wasn't real friendly. Like they didn't associate with town at all. They were
Okay,
not.
now that helps explain things a little bit, like being so far out of
They were
the.
very, yeah, they were totally remote, and they didn't associate with their neighbors. And it wasn't that they were awful people or anything. They just wanted to be left alone. They were very much loners. They didn't go to town much. They didn't associate with the neighbors. So I can't imagine living like that Andreas couldn't fight back.
Yeah, no, because you know that he probably did all the farm by himself.
No, I
Like,
think his wife and his daughter.
well, I mean, like as a family, but they did it. They didn't hire
No, I don't
farm
think they did
hands.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah. The most terrifying details: the bodies were not discovered for 4 days,
Right.
which is ew. Well, I mean, depending on, I guess, on the season over there.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who discovered them.
So, but during that time, neighbors noticed something strange. The farm animals were still being fed. Smoke continued rising from the chimney.
Right.
Someone had clearly been living in the house after the murders, cooking, eating, tending the livestock, while 6 bodies just lay nearby. The discovery of the crime was on April 4th. Neighbors went to check on the farm. Inside the barn, they discovered the bodies. Then they entered the farmhouse and found the rest. The crime scene horrified investigators, but something puzzled them even more. There were no signs of forced entry, which meant one terrifying possibility: the killer had either been invited inside or had already been living inside.
Well, the keys went missing, right? So it's possible that the person who took them out had the keys already. Like they stole the keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there were things that led up to it. I mean, a newspaper that he didn't purchase was down in the house.
Yeah, like where would that come from? That doesn't just
Yeah.
blow in and land in your table.
I mean, and if you're quiet enough, as everyone goes to sleep, you could sneak in and out.
He probably was sneaking in and out when they were all in the barn doing chores and there was a lot of noise. So you can get in and then you just have to be quiet, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few cases of people living in someone's house.
That is like so terrifying to me.
Isn't it?
Because you know, when we were growing up as kids or whatever, you had like, oh, what's underneath your bed? I mean, heck, we were so mean to my little brother. We kept telling him Freddy Krueger was gonna come get him, as my grandpa's chair would rock at night. And my grandpa passed when I was 2. And we would be like, don't worry, he's underneath the bed waiting for you.
Oh man, you guys are
so
terrible.
mean. Oh, my grandma was so mad at us. Like, so I mean, like you always have that eerie kind of, I don't know, sensation of someone in the closet because you see all the shows, or underneath the bed. That the thought of someone living in your house and you not knowing it.
Right.
It's just, So there was the dark rumors. As investigators dug into the family history, disturbing rumors surfaced. Years earlier, Andreas had been convicted of involving his daughter, Victoria.
Yep.
Many villagers believe Victoria's young son, Joseph, might have actually been Andrea's child. Ew.
Oh. I've forgotten all of this part.
The
Yeah.
scandal had
Very
isolated
close
the
family. Yeah.
Ugh. The scandal had isolated the family from the community, so that could explain why they weren't really around people. Some people suspected revenge, others suspected someone far closer. The prime suspects, over 100 suspects were questioned, but several stood out. Carl Gabriel, Victoria's husband, who had supposedly died during World War One. Some villagers believed he had secretly returned and discovered the dad and the daughter.
Yeah.
I can't with that. Like, that is just so wrong to me. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
But he wouldn't. Why? Why injure the children then?
That's it. But if the children weren't his,
Yeah, but still, you'd think he. I can
but
see.
if
I can see
if
him
he,
going after the old guy, and maybe
and
even his wife.
I kind of would see that more,
Really?
and even then, like going after the dad, but not even his wife, because of the fact it probably started when she was a child, if it was true, to
Right.
where when things like that happen, it's normal. Like, you
Right.
don't know different.
Right.
So, but I mean, yeah, why the kids? The kids,
The kids bother
they're
me.
innocent.
The whole. Yeah, they're innocent. Why? I don't see him being the. I don't see that happening.
So then the other one was the neighbor, who was Lorenz Schluttenberg. That's probably not how you pronounce that. So if you're from Germany, sorry guys. A neighbor. So he'd been rumored to have a relationship with Victoria. He was one of the men who helped discover the bodies, and his behavior at this scene raised suspicion for decades, but no one was ever charged. In 1923, the farm was demolished. A shrine was built nearby in memory of the victims, but the mystery remains unsolved. Which is
And
just,
this happened. They didn't keep anything to run the DNA now. That would all be like, well, it's unsolved. Okay, what's next? And that's it. You just walk away.
And how sad is it? Think of like how many murders and things have happened over the years that evidence just gets thrown out after so long.
Well, shoot, they lose it today. We
I
have
mean,
some of the most incompetent people running some of these investigations. It's like, really? How did you lose the toothbrush? I mean, that kind of stuff. And really?
Yeah, there's
the
protocols.
Is there for a reason, and you put it in a locked area for a reason. It's like, how did you?
We have procedures and protocols for many, many reasons in this world.
I was more careful with soil samples than some of our police departments have been with a bloody comb or a knife.
And that's so infuriating.
Isn't it wild?
Because then it makes me think like, all right, are you guys like involved somehow? And like, you're trying to.
I don't think they're involved. I think most of the time they're just really
dumb.
Incompetent. Yeah. I mean, they're not even watching the crime shows we're watching because we would know. You don't pick that up with your hands. You put it in an evidence bag and you put a chain of custody on it and you take it to the lab, or you put it in a locker. I mean,
yeah, but you don't ever just touch it with your own hand. You have gloves on or tweezers or whatever. Like, you don't, because then it's a cross contamination. I don't know. It's so infuriating to me. I'm like, why? But more than a century later, the murders remain one of the most disturbing unsolved crimes in European history. A killer may have lived inside the house, hidden in the attic, watching the family for days. And when the murders were over, he stayed behind, feeding the animals, cooking meals, sleeping in the house, with 6 bodies lying only a few rooms away. And to this day, no one knows who he was.
Yeah, it's disturbing. It's disturbing. And you gotta, so you look at the other things, like was somebody after his land? But that was never even discussed. Like, was somebody after the land?
I wonder what happened
to the land.
I want to look. Yeah.
I don't know. Because that's always suspect. Like, if they don't associate and they don't have Did he owe a lot of money to anybody? I mean, there was all of these details that you would normally look at and say, okay, well, we ruled this out. They weren't in debt. We ruled this out. Nobody was trying to buy his land, then he wouldn't sell. We ruled, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many gaps of information in this story.
It was demolished, which we know that.
Right.
So during the demolition, investigators actually found additional evidence that had been missed earlier, including the blood-covered pickaxe-looking thing.
Go figure. They missed the tool, the large implement that did all of the destruction. They missed it. It was probably under the straw bales or something. They never looked.
I mean, and the reason that they said that they tore it down was because the locals reported the place felt too disturbing to leave standing.
I can imagine. People were really disturbed by that, you know? You think about it, rural farming families, I mean, they're a lot of times they're really superstitious anyway, because you're superstitious about when you plant your crops and when you do this and when you do that. And I mean, there's all of this stuff that's been in farming folklore forever and ever and ever, and raising animals, animal husbandry. There's superstition involved in a lot of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Now you have a whole family taken out and you're like, ooh, I don't, you know. Yeah.
So it was turned back into farmland. So
Yes.
It wasn't made into a museum or a protected area. Instead, the land around the former farmhouse eventually went back to normal agriculture use, just fields and rural farmland. There's no visible ruins of the farm itself, just the memorial and the surrounding farmland.
Yeah, obviously somebody owns the farmland now, but it might have been some kind of state sale, or I don't know how they do things in Germany, but yeah. Crazy. It's a crazy story, and it's a brutal, sad story, and
it really is.
This one always bothered me because of the children. I don't, you know.
And it just blows me away that, I don't know, like, why would, granted, I'm sure back then they weren't thinking, well, then again, okay, we also got to look at that was before World War II.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they did have any evidence, if that was an area where, you know, things took place, they're not going to have anything.
And Andreas, let's see. The farm looks like the farm was his wife. His wife acquired the farm in a divorce. It was part of a divorce settlement. Could her ex-husband have been mad enough to come after her and the whole family and just take them out? I don't know. That's an interesting line. The whole abuse thing was the avenue I was going down when I first heard about this story. But the fact that she got the farm in a divorce, you got to wonder.
Yeah, because I mean, unless it was hers beforehand.
No, it says it was, well, it may be, but usually, well, that's true. That's true. It doesn't, I don't think it's specified. Let's see. It said it was part of a divorce settlement with her first husband, Joseph Assem. So she ended up having 5 children. She had 3 before her marriage to Joseph, and then she and Andreas had 2 more.
And what's crazy though, there's no reliable record of her being married before.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's
but
wild.
Most genealogical research done and places her as married only to Andreas, which
who knows?
There's a lot of things in those genealogy that don't get mentioned because, you know, polygamy was a huge thing.
That's true. Well, that's true. Yeah, people just didn't tell the current boyfriend that they're still married, and they went ahead and got married. And it was just
I mean,
but records were sketchy, right? I mean,
and that's the hard part.
We're trying to find my grandfather's birth certificate in Northern Ireland, and it's just not, they can't find it.
And that's like the hard part too, because with all the immigration and things that have happened, how much of it's true or false? I mean, and I did the DNA test on my heritage, I think it was. And it pulled up people, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm related to you. But I had a great, it was in my second or third great grandfather was arrested for polygamy in Utah.
I didn't think that ever got arrested in Utah.
Oh, when it first became illegal, I
that's true,
actually
right?
I have 2 binders down here that are actually like full of like genealogy stuff that actually Quana did for me, like for my grandma's side. And it was the Archibald side of my family on my grandma's that, oh yeah, he was arrested for polygamy.
Well, I mean, we got polygamists all over this area, right? But they're spiritual wives. They're only legally married to one, and then they're spiritual.
It's still disgusting to me.
I know.
It's so gross.
It is gross.
I'm like, I was married to a woman. One's good enough. I could not imagine having like 3 or 4 wives. No.
Yeah, they're saying that some of the, that the investigation was hindered because there was so much cross contamination at the crime scene, because onlookers were coming onto the crime scene and actually moving the bodies. I mean, first of all, why would you do that? Yeah. And they, they thought the motive could have been robbery. So they were questioning like traveling craftsmen, like,
because back then that was like the traveling weird circus, wasn't it? Like,
well, they're thinking traveling, like people who do carpentry and stuff like that, and they moved around a lot. And then they were looking at different vagrants, and they were looking at they found they finally decided robbery was not a motive, because when they were searching the house, they found quite a large sum of money. So they're like, okay, so it wasn't robbery. I mean, they were going down kind of different lines. They said someone had recently fed the cattle and consumed an entire supply of bread from the kitchen, and had recently cut meat from the pantry. Because, a lot back there in those days, you would smoke it, you would hang it up, and it wouldn't go bad. And yeah. So if there was fresh meat carved, that's wild.
So here's an interesting detail for you. Andreas was actually convicted of incest with Victoria in 1915.
So he was convicted.
So he was, and that would actually fit the timeline with the 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy. So this guy named Adolf Gump was identified as a suspect as early as April 9th, 1922, which is just a week following the murders, because of his connections to a far-right paramilitary organization called something I cannot pronounce. Free Corps Oberland. And he was said to have participated in these murders and others. There were 9 farmers in Upper Silesia during the Polish uprising of 1921 that he is said to have participated in those. And so they issued a warrant for him, and they questioned him, but Adolf and Anton's sister claimed on her deathbed that Adolf and Anton's sister claimed on her deathbed that her brothers committed the murders, but it was never, they were never, there wasn't anything that put them there. There was nothing that could put them at the site.
See, that would be a hard one, but I mean, where somebody's coming in and out so quietly.
Yeah, I don't know.
And not seen.
We had, so growing up, we lived, we weren't super, I mean, we were pretty remote. We were in a tiny little mountain town, but we had a few neighbors around us. But it wasn't like, 1,000 acres before the next neighbor or anything. We had some neighbors. We had a little neighborhood, but we were in a mountain, on a mountain away from everybody. And we didn't have keys to our house. Like I remember when my parents got divorced and had to sell the house, they had to get a locksmith to make keys because we didn't have keys to turn over. Nobody locked their houses. Nobody locked their doors. It was this tiny little mountain community. Everybody had dogs. I mean, you just didn't worry about stuff. But we had someone coming into our house and eating our food every day.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah, they did clean up, but my mom we would come home and find like the cutting board out and breadcrumbs, and the food rations were going way down. And we finally figured out somebody was coming and eating the food. We kept talking about it every evening. My mom would get mad if she came home before us and was like, how come you guys left the mayo out? We're like, we haven't even been home. We just got home.
Yeah.
And so finally put the pieces together that somebody was coming into the house. And we finally, I don't know what my parents did because, like I said, we didn't have any keys. But I don't know. It stopped after a while. And I always wondered because we were surrounded. So we were in the mountains, but we had a lot of orchards all in the mountains up there. It's called Apple Hill. So we had apples and pears and all this stuff. And we always wondered if it was maybe one of the local workers in the orchards that was just hungry. Like they needed food.
Very well could have been.
It could have been, but we didn't have a lot of money either. So I know it was really frustrating for my parents.
Well, and not only that, like it instills a sense of your security.
Yep. Yeah.
Just knowing someone's been in your home. I mean, I've had someone break into my house when I lived in Twin Falls and get my car keys and get in my car and steal my stereo and stuff out of it. And it literally takes a sense of your own security, knowing someone has been in your own space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's creepy. It really is. So then you like hear these kind of stories, and we both know that there's a lot of them out there. It's just eerie.
It is. It's spooky.
And then I'm like that person that's like spray foam every like inch of things that no one can live in it.
I feel bad for this family. I don't know that I particularly feel bad for Andreas because of what he was doing, but I feel bad for the rest of them. They didn't deserve this.
Yeah. No one deserves that, especially that brutal. Like,
right.
It's just wrong.
I suspect it has to be something to do with him and what he was up to. So
I just, like, you don't understand why the kids.
That I don't. That's the only thing that I keep, every time I hear this story, I'm like, yeah, but why the kids? Because they're the innocent people in all of this. They don't deserve this.
Unless
even his daughter was innocent.
Yeah. I mean, unless it really was someone who was against that kind of stuff, which I mean, I would hope most people are, but after, that maybe they just thought they were an abomination.
Yeah, that could be.
I mean, that makes me kind of wonder, like, if they were a product of that, then.
It's a good point. Yeah. Well, this was a creepy story. It's a true story, and it's completely unsolved to this day. So, I don't know. We can leave a comment. Let us know if you've heard about this story. If you have any other insights or heard any other information, we'd love to hear from you. And
yes.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with another creepy story. And you guys have a good week. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.
Lock your doors.
And your windows.
And your windows. And your windows. And your attic door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to find out if I have an attic. So thanks.
My door's
Bye, guys.
outside. My attic door is actually outside, so somebody theoretically could get into my attic.
Nope.
Yeah, that's creepy. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.